A 58-year-old cold case. Could everything they ever knew be a total lie? This is Hold My Sweet Tea. Hello, guys and ghouls. I'm Pearl.
And I'm Holly.
We want to talk for a moment about a local case that I think we talked about before.
Yes.
Before another episode. Earlier. Got a little update via the news.
So it seems the 12-year-old autistic boy who went missing and was later found in a lagoon pond in New Orleans
Behind his house.
wasn't actually autistic.
Allegedly not.
Seems that he had been taken to the hospital before when he was younger, and his mother had records, they had records of her bringing him in, and he had some brain damage.
Yeah, apparently there was some physical abuse that happened, some bruises on his legs, things of that nature, all documented. I believe he was wasn't he taken away from her for a little bit?
Yes.
And then was given back.
Because that's how the system does.
They try to second chance you.
Yeah.
And here we are. Which is what happens, I'm going to say 97% of the time. Mm-hmm. There's like a 3% where the people actually get their shit together and become good parents all of a sudden.
A very, very small 3%.
Yeah. The rest of the time.
Yeah, it's going to repeat. If you can hurt your child and then go, oh no, I'll never do it again, you're a liar. Because you're probably going to hurt your child again.
Yeah, and so now we're mad the cops didn't show up for 5 hours. Yet, that was probably perfect for you if you had something to do with it.
And they're saying blunt force trauma caused by an alligator. He was probably blunt force traumatized, thrown into the pond, and then the alligator
continued to blunt force trauma.
Yeah, like, a snack, and
a bloody snack.
Because I'm pretty sure they usually cut the alligator open to find out if there's stuff in its stomach. So.
And let's be honest here. I swim in ye old alligator infested waters many, many a times.
Right.
They don't come and seek you out.
No.
So I have a really hard time. Like, maybe he was already, like, I don't think he probably didn't know how to swim. So he's probably like flailing around, whatever. Because they're here for the wounded.
Right. The easy pickings.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
It's just a mess of a case.
I'm not an expert on the alligators.
Alligators. It's a mess of a case, and once we get some more updates, we'll let you know. But it's crazy because it hits close to home.
Yeah. And every time something comes out, I'm like, what?
Where?
Why?
Oh, we're in a mood today. So what have you got for us today?
So we're going to go over to Tennessee, since I feel it, up and over to Tennessee. Because I feel like we've been hanging out in Louisiana, Mississippi a bunch. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about something that's still very relevant and current all of a sudden, but it is old. Yeah. So it's in Adamsville, Tennessee, and many, many, many people have seen the movie Walking Tall.
Yes.
especially the 2004 version where you get to smell what The Rock is cooking.
Exactly. Because he'd be walking tall.
With his 2x4.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I would say that if you don't know the story of Walking Tall, you should go watch it.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
It is a very good movie. Any version that you watch. So, let's talk about Sheriff Buford Pusser. He had many enemies because he was very hard-nosed sheriff. Didn't tolerate anything. Wasn't going to take, no breaks on any criminal activity in Adamsville. Like, it didn't matter who you were. You could have been a fellow cop.
You could have been his mama, and he was like, not in my town, mama.
Exactly. You were not doing it here.
Nope.
So it's very, very intolerant of the bad guys. So a lot of people hated him, of course, especially the criminals.
Exactly.
The criminal minds did not like Sheriff Pusser, but could he have actually also been a hypocrite and a criminal mind himself?
It's a possibility.
I mean, it's possible anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about August 12th, 1967. Because I feel like this is the best place to start.
Okay.
Pauline Pusser, his wife, was 33 years old and had 3 kids with him.
3 little pussers.
3 little pussers. She had, for whatever reason, decided that she was going to go along with him on a disturbance call at 4:45 in the morning. And they were going just outside Selmer, Tennessee.
So she left her kids and went on a joyride
With her husband.
Yeah, okay.
on a work ride.
A work ride, not a joyride. But for her, it was a joyride.
Yes. A work ride. This is where things get a little cray-cray. She is actually shot to death, and her husband is seriously wounded in the jaw when his car is fired upon on a back road. Old country dark back road.
Mm-hmm.
Then Selmer Police Chief Hugh Kirkpatrick said he heard a call on the radio from Sheriff Pusser at about 6:20 in the morning. And they were found about a mile north of the Tennessee-Mississippi state line. So it's on US 45.
Okay.
If anybody wants to go look. Again, like I said, they were going to investigate a complaint. Why she felt like she needed to go. I mean, I just think that's odd. You're like, hey, honey, you want to come with me?
Yeah, sure.
Buford was sitting behind the wheel of the car because, of course, he was driving.
Mm-hmm.
And Pauline is laying in the seat with her head in his lap.
Oh.
When they come up. Kirkpatrick said that Pusser told him that the shooting had actually occurred on New Hope Road, which was like 3 miles from the state line. I'm like, why'd you move?
Yeah,
But,
right.
Okay. Weird little things.
Yeah, exactly. Little weird details.
Investigators were said to have found 14 spent .30 caliber cartridges on the road where Pusser said the ambush took place. I guess he just kept driving because he was trying to drive away when all this went down, is what his claim is. The Pusser car was hit by 11 of those shots.
Somebody had it out for him.
So Buford was rushed to McNairy County General Hospital, and then they moved him to Baptist in Memphis. According to investigators, because of Buford's story, they felt like the couple drove into a trap. So, like, maybe the disturbance call wasn't actually real.
Right. They have those where somebody will call out EMS or police or fire, and then they'll just, like, ambush them and start shooting.
Right. And then the TBI, which was formerly known as Tennessee Bureau of Criminal Identification, did say they had a couple of key suspects, but literally the case remained unsolved all the way through now.
Wow. He had so many enemies, like, who could have been?
Right. So, fast forwarding to now. Well, let's start with, there was another sheriff in Arkansas who actually wrote a book. His name is Mike Elam. He self-published said book, and it is titled Buford Pusser, The Other Story. And apparently he had given tips about the case to the TBI. He said that he believed cold case investigators were trying to find answers to 3 main questions when investigating this, just to help them figure out what's up. One is, was Pauline Pusser killed in an ambush on New Hope Road, or was she killed somewhere else? Was the fatal shot fired from the back or the front? And do the forensics match the story that her husband was telling investigators? Now, we all know investigation was a little different back in 1967.
Right.
There was no autopsy done. I still think that's a little weird. But there wasn't one.
But they're like, oh, he's telling the truth. He's a stand-up guy, so we don't even need to do an autopsy. Not all these questions and things like that, because he's supposed to be this good guy who was stern and followed the law.
Right. And I mean, there's obviously the 12th of August is another book written by someone else that became really popular. This is a book by W.R. Morris. And today, like, the grave sites, the Pusser home, the, like, memorial where he crashed his car and died himself, all serve as tourist attractions in Adamsville or for fans of Walking Tall. So, because of the lack of autopsy, they decided it would be a good idea in 2024 to go on and get permission from Pauline's family that was still living, her next of kin, to go on and exhume her.
Right.
It's been a long time, but
they have questions and they kind of want some more solid answers.
Right, because they're all sitting here going, was she really killed in an ambush that was meant for her husband?
Right.
Who knows? So, of course, they go to the Adamsville Cemetery, and you can see all the disturbed dirt from them digging up Pauline right next to her husband, whose headstone reads, "He walked tall." Yeah.
But what motive would he had to have killed her? Were they having issues, I wonder, or was there money involved? Was he involved with somebody else? That's like, those are the questions that go around in my mind. Like, why?
Like, why would you do it?
Would he do it?
Right. So, I don't. We'll kind of get into what they think.
Yeah, those are just things like going around in my head. Like,
yeah,
why would he have done it?
So we know that he stood tall because he was literally taller than so many people.
He was like, what, 6'6", I think?
Something like that. It was tall.
Yeah.
And he was most known for cleaning up McNairy County, jailing criminals who had run rampant before he became sheriff. So that was why he became so popular, because all that stuff was bad. Then he gets elected, and then he's
cleaning
it up.
Mm-hmm.
2 years later, he's in his first shootout. So ambushes could be a real story. Who knows? Pusser shot and killed the owner and operator of the Shamrock Motel after she, Louise Heathcock, shot him while he was there to investigate some thefts.
I think there's a mistress involved, and he needed to shut somebody up.
In January of 1967, he was shot 3 times, twice in the face, once in the arm, while he stopped a motorist for reckless driving.
Well, they just really hated him, didn't they?
Yeah. Pusser had also been stabbed twice, and a moonshiner tried to run him over. And he served as sheriff until 1970.
He's like, you're not going to steal my jug of moonshine.
Right. He died while leaving the McNairy County Fairgrounds in August of 1974 when he lost control of his Corvette, crashing into an embankment on US 64 near his hometown. He was 36.
Midlife crisis car.
His wife was 33 when she died. All right.
He lived this wild and crazy life, but it wasn't that long of a life.
Right. It really wasn't.
Yeah. You would have thought he would have been in his 60s or something when he crashed, or, all this tough guy and everything, but.
Right. So authorities pretty much acknowledge that the findings that they have are likely going to shock many. And they also keep reiterating this is not about tearing down a legend. It's about finding the truth for someone who was killed. There's actually enough evidence that if Pusser were still alive today, prosecutors would absolutely present an indictment to a grand jury for the death of his wife. Investigators also uncovered signs that she had suffered from domestic violence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a lot more going on under the surface there.
Right.
For sure.
So in 2022, as part of its regular review of cold cases, Agency Director David Roush said that they started re-examining decades-old files on Pauline's death, and that the agents had found inconsistencies between Buford Pusser's version of events and the actual physical evidence that they had found on the scenes. Of course, they also received a tip about a potential murder weapon. So this is partially why they also exhumed Pauline's body for the autopsy. No one knew.
Yeah.
Even though, the residents in the community said that they were totally caught off guard. Agents swarming the cemetery. They're like, what is going on
who's
here?
Getting dug up? Oh, my God.
Right. So it was just an all of a sudden thing. But they want to make sure they're giving dignity to her and closure to her family.
Oh, absolutely.
And her brother has always been I don't believe that is what actually happened. Mm-hmm. And so they're just saying, that the truth matters, justice matters, even 58 years later. And they say, Pauline and her family deserve both.
Yes.
Not going to go back through the whole other thing, but Buford actually spent 18 days in the hospital and required several surgeries to recover from this quote-unquote ambush. And the case obviously is going to be built largely by his own statement. Naturally. They trust him.
Yeah. I mean, he was the sheriff.
Exactly. The hard-nosed,
Yes.
straight-laced sheriff.
Nobody gets away with anything, sheriff.
Yeah. I cleaned up the town, sheriff. But during the re-examination of the case, Dr. Michael Revelle, an emergency medicine, physical, and medical examiner, looked at postmortem photographs, crime scene photos, notes made by the medical examiner at the time, and Buford Pusser's own statements.
It's a hard name to say.
Oh my gosh. He concluded that Pauline was more likely than not shot outside the car and then placed inside of the car. He said that the cranial trauma that was suffered didn't match crime scene photographs of the car's interior. Meaning that, like, blood spatter on the hood outside the car contradicted, outside the car, contradicted what Buford told them. The gunshot wound on his cheek was in fact a close contact wound and not one fired from long range.
I was going to say, was it close contact and then he
So they
staged
believe
it? Yeah.
it was likely a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Pauline's autopsy revealed she had a broken nose that had healed way before she died. And they had some statements from other people who were around at the time she died saying, yes, she was a domestic abuse victim for sure. So there are people who are saying, yeah, we already know that.
But back then it was like, oh yeah, Stanley, he beats his wife and nobody would say a word.
Yeah.
Because that's just what happened back in the 60s and 70s or 50s, whenever.
Right.
Like back in the day, because he was the man of the house, so he made the rules, right?
Exactly. Don't they all? Some of them still think they do. You know why I think men try to control women? Because they fear us.
Oh, absolutely.
So, just saying.
That's why I cackled at that.
Yeah. So, Pauline's younger brother, Griffin Mullins, made statements, and he was like, feeling like this whole reinvestigation has given him some closure. They actually had a news conference that was recorded, and they mentioned that their other sister had died without knowing what happened to Pauline, and he's grateful that he didn't. Like, he gets to know what happened before he passes on.
Yes.
He said about his sister, you would fall in love with her because she was a people person. And of course, my family would always go to Pauline if they had an issue or they needed some advice, and she was always there for them. She was just a really sweet person. I loved her with all of my heart. He said that he did know that there was some issues in Pauline's marriage, but that she wasn't really one to share her problems. And he says for that reason, he's not totally shocked that there's evidence of domestic abuse.
Yes.
However, Buford Pusser's granddaughter said she feels differently. She said in a statement that, quote, a dead man who cannot defend himself is being accused of an unspeakable crime. She also says, justice can be accomplished by pursuing this theory of my grandmother's death, but she doesn't see how. Like saying there's no way for him to defend himself. So she doesn't see how this is justice. or how justice
I
is being
agree,
served.
but also scientific and forensic research, and I mean, it's going to tell the tale eventually.
Right. So during this press conference, when someone asked about the murder weapon, they asked if it matched the autopsy findings. And Roush actually recommended reading the case files for specifics. I'm like, are they public record? So they said the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation plans to make the entire file, which exceeds 1,000 pages, available to the public by handing it over to the University of Tennessee at Martin, once it finishes with redactions, of course. The school will then create an online searchable database for the case. Until then, you can always make appointments and review it in person, or you can purchase a copy. Purchase a coffee. I must need a coffee. You can purchase a copy. But yeah, it's purchasable. Pusser, purchase.
Pusser purchase.
Coffee.
We're just having a way with words today. It happens.
It happens. So it's one of those things. You're like, did it happen? Did it not happen?
I mean, again, it's really hard to say because it was so long ago and the investigations were not as detailed and clean as they are now.
Right.
So things get botched, things get messed up. Evidence could have been tampered with.
Right. So many things.
Yeah.
But like just the ironic case.
Yeah.
Because of everything he stood for. And then to be like accused of beating his wife and then killing her at some point. Crazy.
Truth, justice, and the American way.
You know, it's nuts. But if anybody wants to, you can still visit the suburban home of Buford Pusser. It is a museum now.
And like
It's the real home, furnishings and memorabilia of Sheriff Pusser.
Everything.
And contains, contains the original furnishings. There's like a whole video presentation. His cars are still there.
Wow.
And like just a bunch of stuff from his childhood throughout his famed law enforcement career. So they do actually also have an annual festival held each May to honor the memory of the legendary sheriff. Will it continue? I don't know.
And like you said, he was the inspiration behind the movie Walking Tall. So you can go watch that if you want to.
Yeah. See what's up with Buford. Yeah, I mean, there was a series from way back in the day.
I remember that. Well, and when you brought up the name, I like immediately remembered because I remember my parents talking about it when I was a kid. Right. And because it was in the news at the time. And of course, here we are in Louisiana, so it wasn't very far off.
Right. But it was in 1973.
Mm-hmm.
And it was starring Joe Don Baker.
Joe Don.
And
then
the 2004.
Can you smell what the Rock is cooking?
Breakfast.
Justice.
Pancakes.
I like pancakes better than Justice. Ooh, some good Southern biscuits and gravy, too.
Oh, nummy, my favorite. You know, that's why I'm chunky.
Right.
I smell what the Rock's cooking, and then I eat it.
I just had pancakes and biscuits and gravy, and my stomach went...
Crazy stuff.
I know.
So, yeah, with all that coming out, I thought it would be kind of cool to just sling it all together and toss it out there for those of you listening to us here. Those of you that are fans of Patty Salzetta's theme music that she made for us. That's the real reason you're listening, right?
Yeah, it's Patty.
Our theme music.
Absolutely. And if you have any thoughts or theories, or you've investigated this case and you've been on Reddit and you've gone into a deep subreddit hole about it.
A rabbit Reddit hole.
Rabbit Reddit hole. I get in those all the time and I'm like, where am I at right now?
Yeah.
That's not even what I was looking for.
You start in one place looking at one thing and then you end up is Count Dracula's ex-wife.
Right. But if you have any theories or anything like that, please message us. We will personally message you back and answer you.
Yeah,
we've had more interactions on TikTok. I've had lots of people commenting on our videos, and we absolutely love that. And I answer everybody.
Yeah, and just so we're clear, I want to say thank you, Carly.
Yes.
For listening every week, twice a week, and for sending me an email with your cute baby in it.
Oh my goodness.
He's so precious.
We love the babies.
And we miss you too.
Yes, absolutely. But, even if you're in another country, if you don't write it in your language.
That's what I was going to say.
Translate.
We'll figure it out. It's fine. You send it to us. What you get back may not make total sense, but we'll try.
I mean, it's like those TikTok videos where they're over in Japan or Singapore, and they're like, look at these t-shirts with American sayings on them, and they're just the most obscure, weird things. And I'm like,
yeah, what are you doing?
I'm like, that's hilarious. But also,
no,
it's just like the tattoo epidemic when everybody was getting Chinese symbols on them, and you're like,
that says Kung Pao chicken.
That's not what that means. You just got some symbol that, did not mean that at all.
You thought it was something really cool, and it really just said toilet this way.
Oh, that's hilarious. So yeah, it gets mixed up both ways, but we'll try to translate and we'll answer you back. We promise.
Absolutely. And you can do that on any social media platform or steeped at holdmysweettea.com.
Absolutely. And as always, Hold My Sweet Tea is a Drunken Bee production.
Bzz.
You guys remember to stay safe out there. And just because we're dipping doesn't mean you can't keep sipping. Bye.